Before we get started with today's video, I definitely want to take some time to thank my friends over at So Avant-Garde. All right, so Avant-Garde is a place where you can go online, type in the website, and you have a plethora of fragrances from the niche world. Now, niches can be intimidating, so sample, and they have those. Discovery sets as well. Head over there, look around, shop around, and save you some money by using the code DEDRICK20 on anything on So Avant-Garde. And it's definitely something where, if you're ready to elevate your fragrance collection or get into something new or tap into another level as far as quality goes, hey, So Avant-Garde has you covered. All right, so head over there, use DEDRICK20, save anything, get anything over there except mind games. Don't worry. You can head over to mindgames.com and use DEDRICK10 for 10% off anything on mindgames.com. All right, so save you some money, explore, see what you discover, and let me know down below in the comments if you rock with anything. All right, appreciate y'all. Let's get started with today's video. YouTube, what's going on? YouTube, what is going on? What is happening, man? Of course, your guy, one more time, DEDRICKHJR, and I'm back with another fragrance video. All right, Smell Good family. Hopefully everyone is doing well, doing great, doing fantastic. Positive energy and positive vibes. Y'all know how we rock out here on this channel. All right, so we're back with my favorite video to do each and every week, and that is the weekly rotation video. So we're up to rotation 102, 102 straight weeks of this video, and I'm going to be documenting and discussing every fragrance that I wore during the week of February 18th. All right, so interesting week, different styles of fragrances here. I debuted one fragrance, wore a fragrance that I hadn't worn in a while, so pretty good, versatile week, and let's go ahead and dive into it. All right, up first on Sunday, of course, I have to say this every time, living in Jacksonville, Florida, the weather is bipolar here. And on Sunday, it was rainy, windy, and cool. I hadn't worn this in quite some time, and I love the DNA, so I was really surprised that I hadn't worn it. But man, was this a great reminder. From the house of Versace, we went with Oud Noir. Oud Noir on Sunday. For those who don't know, this is I want to call it a clone, or I guess it's an inspired by rendition of Tom Ford's Oud Wood, but this is a little bit different here. You have a very nice white floral presence. There's a bitter orange in here. You do get the oud in here. It comes off a little bit synthetic, less than the Tom Ford provides with their oud. Comes off a little bit more natural, but still a little synthetic to my nose. But all in all, this is a great fragrance, man. And as I went on throughout my day, especially in the elements that I was in for the day, with the coolness and the rainy and the cloudy, just kind of droopy day, this kind of fit perfectly, man. So I still give the edge to Oud Wood from Tom Ford, but this is not too shabby. And on discounters, you can get this for around 40 bucks. Performed all day long, like sincerely performed. But I do like how that bitter orange and the white florals kind of mingle with the oud in here. So real good stuff. Don't sleep if you're a fan of the Oud Wood DNA. This is another alternative at a lesser price, but it is really good. On Sunday, from the house of Versace, we went with Oud Noir. Oud Noir doesn't get talked about a lot in the community, but as you can see, I've had this for a couple of years, and I got a nice dent in that bottle. All right, up next, a fragrance that absolutely no one talks about whatsoever, and I forgot that I had this. Again, I tend to do that from time to time, which is sad actually, but this is just a good wear. I hadn't worn it. I picked it up on a Monday on an off day. This was good. From the house of Paco Rabanne, we went with Invictus Intense. Yes, Intense. Now, for those who don't know about this, take your Invictus DNA, all right, but just add some whiskey to it, add a little bit more spice to it, and that's what you get. You still get that aquatic freshness, that real sweet tone to the fragrance, but that whiskey and the added spices that come off to my nose really balance this thing out. I think this is better than the original. in my opinion. But you know, if you are not into a more darker version of the DNA, then this might not be for you. But I think everybody, I find it hard pressed that anybody won't like how this smells. But this is really good performer. I've only worn this a couple of times out of I think I've had this for 2 years now. And no, about a year. I had this about a year, but I only worn it like 2 or 3 times. So it was good to get re-familiar on an off day, moving around the house. Had to go step out and run some errands, go to the grocery store. It was a good wearing. On Monday, from the house of Paco Rabanne, we went with Invictus Intense. Intense. Absolutely no one talks about this. Somebody out there might think that that's a brand new fragrance, but it's not. All right, on Tuesday, we returned to the office. It was much more cooler. Wouldn't say cold, but on the verge. And I just was feeling like this. I just was feeling like I was him on Tuesday. And this is what I went with. From the house of Tiziano Terenzi, we went with Kaput Monday. Kaput Monday. An excellent rose oud style of fragrance. And the opening comes off very strong in the opening. But as this continues to dry down, man, you get that rose and that oud really working beautifully. There's 3 different types of oud in here, but don't be scared. Does it come off oudy? Yes, but it's a smooth oud. The rose in here is fresh, has a little spice to it. There's a little powderiness that happens with the rose, but it's not overly noticeable. But I can tell when, especially how it's blending in with the oud and the other spices into this fragrance once you get to the dry down. But this is a sophisticated fragrance, a lot of class in this fragrance. This is not an everyday wear. Like I've said before, when I go to work, I have to wear a button up, some slacks, some hard bottoms. And I was just feeling great that day when I woke up, and I said, you know what, this is what we're gonna do. So performs all day long. Again, not for everybody. Sample. And it's just one that is a unique experience in my opinion. On Tuesday, back to the office from the house of Tiziano Terenzi, we went with Kaput Monday. Beautiful bottles. These bottles are extremely heavy bottles for sure, but good stuff. All right. On Wednesday, I was just in the mood for honey. Yeah, I was just in the mood for the note of honey, and I hadn't worn this one ever since I got Zaharov's Signature Aurum, because that has just taken precedent over all my honey fragrances. But I said, you know what, let's give this a spin for old time's sake, because I raved about this when I got it. It's still ultra good. I got this is the most complimented. No, there's another one. I got 2 compliments, but there's another one that outdid that we'll talk about in a second. But this is great. From the House of Paris Corner, from the Amir line, we went with When Souls Get High. Beautiful white honey style of a scent. You get a lot in here, man. There's some cherry in here. There's a nuttiness in here. It's just a very aphrodisiac style of a scent. Now, normally I wouldn't wear something like this to work, but I was just in the mood to smell honey, all right? And that's why I went with this one. So like I said, normally I would wear these on a date night or more intimate setting or something like that, but I just was in the mood. So I caught me 2 compliments very early on in my day. And it was really funny because you get the one compliment was what's going on? What is that? You know what I'm saying? So he wanted to know what it was. I told him, and then I had one of the ladies in the office compliment this as well. So compliment heavy here, not everyday wear in my opinion. Very sweet, rich style of a honey in here, but other notes, like I said, there's some chestnut in here, there's some cherry in here. Performs all day long. Really good projection and sillage in the first 2 to 3 hours of this fragrance, and most importantly, you can get it for not that much money. All right, you can get it for $40 or less. Just depends on where you're shopping. I got mine from Amazon, but I know Aroma Concepts has it as well. So on Wednesday in the office, this was a good one and a good experience. From the House of Paris Corner, from the Amir line, we have When Souls Get High. When Souls Get High. Really good stuff there for sure. All right, up next, man, this is top 5 in my collection. This has a lot of hype around it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but it was really good to wear this. Still cooler out during the day, and this is just like that, man. From the house of Virtus, we went Virtus Vanilla Oud. Definitely had to get another wear in of this before the seasons indeed start to change as we get ready for spring. But it was still cold out. I go to work very, very early in the morning. So we were talking about low 40s, high 30s, first thing in the morning. So it's appropriate for sure to wear this. So vanilla, ooh, kind of got this burnt caramel type of vibe as well. I get a little bit of a like, I'm trying to explain it, but it's kind of like a, not cherry, but it's a, I guess it is like I get like a little cherry tone to this fragrance. Even though it's not in here, the more that I wear it, the more I pick it up, especially in the opening, but that dies down right away. Vanilla, oud, I get a very rich experience with this fragrance. It lasts all day long, great quality, and I know a lot of people out there love it. So do I. From the house of Virtus, we have Virtus Vanilla Oud for Thursday. Great stuff. All right. On Friday, I went with an Alexandria fragrance that I hadn't worn in quite some time. Now, I know I sit here and I say, out of my Club Day Nuit Intense Man fragrances, especially when we're talking about Aventus clones, that the limited edition Parfum is my favorite out of all the clones that I have of Aventus. But this right here is competing with that. I hadn't worn it in quite some time, and I'm glad that I was reminded how good this is. From the house of Alexandria fragrances, we went with Brazilla Privé. Now, the thing about Alexandria fragrances, when you buy them, give them time to sit. Let them macerate. You can still wear them, but let them sit and macerate, and this is a product of that. Why do I say that? When I first got this didn't last that long. I wore it a couple times and I was very weary of like, wow, am I getting nose blind to it? What's going on? But that's not the case anymore. I've had this for about a year and a half, and it is the number one, it's inspired by of the smoky batches of Creed Aventus. So it lasts all. I got a compliment in the barbershop, I got a compliment in my local Publix, I got a compliment in my local Target. Like this is a fragrance that the DNA just absolutely works, in my opinion. Top 5 all time. But this is a lot more smokier, darker, even spicier, earthy take on the DNA. So the fruitiness that people love with the pineapple bergamot type of deal, you don't get that here. You get it in the immediate opening, but that goes away fast, and I prefer that with my Creed Aventus. Don't get me wrong, I love the pineapple, I love the fresher batches or the sweeter batches, but this is more of my speed. So it was really, really good to get re-familiar with this. I don't know if y'all can see the dent in this bottle. I'm trying to move it around, but as y'all can see, I put in a little bit of work on this bottle, but I hadn't worn it in quite some time, and I'm really impressed of how it's macerated since then. So looking for a great Creed Aventus cologne. Looking at this, man, from the house of Alexandria fragrances, we have Brazilla Privé. And again, this is inspired by the smokier batches of Creed Aventus, okay? And last but not least, the second half of the week, I got plenty of compliments. The first half, not so much. But this was my most complimented fragrance, of the week, man. From the house of Sphinx fragrances, we have Mango-licious Habibi Storm. All right, Mango-licious Habibi Storm. Shout out to my man's Ross for putting me on this fragrance. If y'all didn't see the video, Ross came through to the crib, man, and we had some blind smelling rate videos, and this was one of them. And man, now, fellas, this ain't for everybody. This is mango. This is white florals just personified. There's a creaminess to the florals as well. The white florals, very smooth. You get the real fruity part of the mango, slightly tardy, but more fruity and sweet, blending in with those white florals. Now there is some leather in here on the dry down. It gets a little bit more denser. The vanilla in here makes it a little bit warm for sure. But all in all, went to my local Dillard's. As soon as I walk into the building, literally walk into a building, woman coming out complimenting me on the way in. I went to go visit my dear friend Miss Heather, chopping up with her a little bit, and I received compliments just in and out Dillard's. I also received the compliment in my local Nordstrom's. I stopped by there to see if they had new Parfums de Marly, but they didn't. And then I went and got me a smoothie. from Tropical Smoothie, and the young lady and the young woman who she was training, I believe she was brand new at her job, they both asked about my fragrance. Not necessarily a compliment, but asked about. And that was in a short period of time. I'm going to absolutely dent this bottle up in the spring, in the summer. It's just my speed. I'm a fan of white florals. I'm a fan of mango, and this is excellent. It does lean a little feminine, but I'm good with that. It doesn't do anything to deter me, but it may deter some of you. Performs all day long. X straight to parfum concentration. Sphinx fragrances, they outdid themselves with this. This is definitely my vibe. My wife loves it. She smelled it, said it smells absolutely wonderful. So on Saturday to close out the week, this is fire. From the house of Sphinx fragrances, we have Mango-licious Habibi Storm. Habibi Storm, good stuff for sure. Love it, man, good stuff. All right, Smell Good fam, so that's going to wrap up this week's version of the weekly rotation, week 102. And like I said, we have some decent variety with this Jacksonville weather. As you see, we started off with cold and rainy and ended up with a beautiful, nice spring-like day to wrap up the week, all right? So, Smell Good family, let me know what y'all wore this week. Drop it below down in the comments. I love to read your guys' rotation and what you guys had going on, what you love, what you didn't love, what was new, what did you get out of here. Let me know for sure, all right? And as always, I appreciate you guys very, very much. So humbled by all the support, and I really thank you guys for sure. So until next time, y'all know what it is, baby. Splack it up, splack it down, splack it that thing all around. And remember, what you put onto this world is exactly what you are going to get back. Y'all keep it positive, man. Keep it cool, man. Why not live your life that way? Why not? Just think about that. Put into the world what you want to get back. That's up to you to believe that. Peace.